Good evening, my dear brothers and sisters. Today is Friday, February the 6th, 2009. We are having our regular Friday meditation class. Today is a little bit special because we have many students from University U of A to come to practice meditation with us and to have some questions based on Buddhism, because we know that they will start their Buddhist research soon. I used to meet them as a group, and they have questions and I answer. In the past, they used to come individual. Can you imagine sometime like I see each of them every day and like for the whole week with the same questions. So lately when the teacher contact me and I say, why don't we have a day? So all day of them come together. And it's good that they come on Friday because they can also experience about the meditation. Instead of I giving a lecture, a talk, so they can have questions and I answer. So that helped me to have some topic to talk on. Because after many years of talking and I ran out of the topic. So nothing else to say other than it's nice to have questions so we all can learn back to review from your question. So we do have limited of time. So please now you can raise your hand and have your first question. Do not hesitate, okay? Just the same as you sit with me at the back and drinking some tea and ask questions. Now you can do so. Yes. Before you have a question, I would like to introduce a little bit about the practice. When we talked about Buddhism, it is not only a religion. It is not only a philosophy. But more than that, Buddhism is the way of life. Because the word Buddha means a person who able to awake, who able to live happily, peacefully in the present moment, we call Buddha. So the nature of this peaceful capacity never only in one person or a specific person, but this kind of nature in every one of us. So we able to live peacefully, happily in the present moment, the same as the one we call Buddha. So the word Buddha can apply to every one of us. And Buddhism is not only the religion that you come to worship. You come to beg for blessing. You come to learn some of the philosophy. And there is a text called a Bible. You only respect, obey, learn, that's it. But you have to transform yourself to become a living Bible. That means you can apply directly what you have learned. And we do not need to frame ourselves in the form of Buddhism. Because as the way of life always moves on. And Buddhism always updates. And you can meet Buddhism at every corner of the universe. not only in the Buddhist practice center, not only in temple, but when you walk out, you see the snow falling. That is also a lecture, because you can enjoy the snow. You are the Buddha. You do not need to expect whether summer, winter, fall, or spring. As a person who have the capacity of enjoy the present moment, they can enjoy 4 seasons easily, no expectation. The Buddha is the one who knows to open their heart, to accept more than to expect. Because when you can accept, you feel more happy than you expect. Because the more you expect, the more you get nothing. Because you never stop at what you expect. We always have a very high expectation. And our pocket is endless. We never feel enough with what we have. So the one who happy is the one who able to feel enough what they have. So we do practice. If I do not get what I wish, then I will be happy with what I have. And if you can practice that, you don't have to do anything formally to become a Buddhist, but you are a Buddha. Remember 2-3 weeks ago, I say, do not become a Buddhist, be a Buddha. Buddha means the one who is able to live happily, peacefully in the present moment. We do not pursue the past. We do not worry for future. What we do is enjoy the present, because tomorrow will become today. If you do not know how to enjoy what is called today, how can you enjoy what is called tomorrow? Because we never have anything called tomorrow. Let's say tomorrow is Saturday. But when Saturday arrives, we do not call tomorrow, we call today. So why don't we go directly to the term and live with what is called today? Can you see that? When you're able to understand that, you're able to love. And first of all, who you love? You love yourself. You love others. The 2 important aspects that we learn and practice, that is called understanding and love. You do not offer, or you cannot offer your true love if you do not understand the one you love. You don't understand, then how can you love? And you say you love. How can you show your love if you do not understand that person? What they need? What is their difficulties? What is their background? What is their suffer? That is why when you come into the center, you see we have the drum, we have the bell. The drum stands for understanding. The bell stands for love. So when we play the drum and the bell together, that means we have to practice and make the love and the understanding become the reality. These are not philosophy. This is something very real and very needed. So every year, we have the tradition that to light up the candles, to offer to the Buddha called Medicine Buddha, Beshasha Guru, That's how Tibetan and the original term called. It means medicine Buddha. And you can see that each of the medicine Buddha, we have a light, a candle. Medicine, when we talk about medicine, we know the medicine have the capacity to heal the sickness, the illness. How can you heal someone if you don't know what's wrong with their body? Same thing. You want to heal mentally sickness to your loved one, you should understand what's wrong with that person. So that's why the lights, the candles in Buddhism stand for the light of the insight. Another word, the light of understanding. Medicine means the way, the method, the technique to help someone. If let's say you all sit here, you will have different way to understand. And each of us here, we have different kind of suffering. We have different kind of sorrow. So if I can understand each of your personalities' sorrow, I can give you the right way to help you to transform your suffering. So in that moment, I am lighting up the medicine Buddha within me. And you are the patient. But who knows? Sometimes I am also a patient. You are the medicine Buddha to help me. So that's why it's round. Because this Buddha shining to that Buddha shining to the other Buddha. We are reflecting to each other. Can you see what I mean? When you come to the practice center, you see that person walk slowly. Every time before they sit down, they join their palms, they bow. They are the beautiful lecture for you to learn. Oh, that's how to sit down. That's how we greeting in the Buddhism. Right? So we can learn from each other directly, reality, by every action, every word. If we cannot light up the understanding in us, we never know what to talk. What word that can we use in order to relieve the others? Sometimes you will say, that's how am I. I don't care what people think about me. I just be like that. Yes, that's good, but just for yourself. But do not forget that. You are not the one who moved to the mountain yet. We still hang around with humans, with people. 2 days ago, I have talked to a young fellow, and I say, in this life, when we walk, we cannot only just look up, but we also cannot just look down. Once a while, we need to look up. Once a while, we need to look down, and sometimes we look around. So make sure we walk properly. Do not hit anyone. So that keeps safety for us, safety for others. Can you see that example? Maybe when we step into life, we are very proud about us. That's why we just look up. We never look down. And many, many times, we have hit the pole, the wall, and sometimes we fall down. So after a fall, you will learn one thing. Look up is not a good, not a perfect way. Now you look down. It's not good too. So after another fall, you will learn you need to look around. That's why when a person stand up and give a presentation, maybe they look at the paper. Once a while, they need to look up at the audience to see, are they sleeping yet? Are they understanding me? Or I just look down on my piece of paper and keep reading and reading. I don't care. They listen, they understand, or whatever. Can you see what I mean? That is the art of the one who come up and give the presentation. You talk, but once a while you need to look up to show your freedom, to show your liberation, and to see the audience. Are they listening? Are they understanding what you say? If not, you try to give another example. So, to answer your question, why we have candle, or another word, the lights. In our tradition, of course, we light up all the time. But why in the New Year? Because New Year stands for the beginning of the new day, new month, everything is new. So practicing in Buddhism is to renew ourselves, to rebuild what it collapsed. Every morning we invite the bell to remind everybody you have a new day to go. Brand 24 hours, brand new. So live that day wholeheartedly. Use the day mindfully. And in the evening, we also invite the bell to remind everybody the day is ended. Our life is also shorter along with the day. Let's look back to our day, what we have done. So sometimes we encourage. We need to write a big word, a sentence, hanging somewhere to remind us what I have done for my loved one. Sometimes we forgot. So that just a very short sentence quotation, but that can become the mindfulness bell to awake us. What I have done for the day. You can ask yourself a question like that. Many, many times, we just live because of our negative habit. We just listen to our negative habit, but we never go back to see what's inside of us. We never listen deeply to another tiny voice underneath of that negative habit. So that's why we need meditation. Meditation is not a big deal, not a big thing that you cross your legs, close your eyes to call meditation. But you can apply meditation directly in every activity of your daily life. When you talk, when you walk, when you sit, when you eat, when you drink, you have mindfulness, you very careful on that. You are aware of what are you doing. That's called meditation. For instance, you pick up your remote control. You need to have meditation right away. Which channel that I should watch? Which channel able to help me to learn and to reduce my passion, my violence, my fear, my scary. Sometimes we are afraid of ghosts, but we like to read, we like to watch, scary movies. That's how we are. We know we have a lot of emotional, but we love to watch emotional movies. We know what's wrong, but we never learn what to transform. We just let that emotional become worse. We enjoy that emotional. Sometimes we cry along with the movie. You see what I mean? So Buddhism is learn the way to transform what's wrong with your body and your mind. That is the meaning of the word practice. Practice doesn't mean you're struggling to sit. You're struggling with your meditation or your chanting. Practice means you understand and you have the right way to help you to cultivate what's wrong with you. If you're able to see how worse your family situation, then you will find a way to renew, to rebuild your family. That's called practice. And meditation can be done through your day. Not only 30 minutes, turn off the lights and sit down for meditation. Yes, that's needed, but not enough compared to the other 23 hours we live. We need to the time you sit down is the time you recharge. The time you walk, you talk, you sit, you eat, you drink is the time you use your battery. So that is a brief introduction about the practice, and also answer the meaning of the light. One after one. Do not stop. There is nothing wrong when you set up your goal or your destination. But the important is, let's say you plan to achieve your degree in the next 4 years. Nothing wrong with that, because that is needed. But if you don't put down each day working hard, study hard, how can you achieve that 4 years as you said? You see what I mean? So set up the goal, but don't sit there and say, I will get my degree in the next 4 more years. I will get the degree in the next 4 more years. That's only reading the prescription. But we never use the prescription to get some medicines. So there's nothing wrong. But what we mean is, do what you need in every single day. Then that the day you plan for, the day you're waiting for, will be possible. So if you don't study each day now, how can you achieve your goal in the next 4 years? Yes. When you step into the Buddhist temple or practice center, and you used to see there is a big statue of the Buddha right in the center. Sometimes small, big, doesn't matter. But in the center of the main hall, that is what we call the Buddha. But this is one of the Buddhas only. And this is the Buddha named Shakyamuni. Historical Buddha. He is the founder of Buddhism. He was the prince. Was born in the 6th century of BC, before Christ. So after he ordained as a monastic, he understand the way, he found the way, and we name him the Buddha. So this is what we call the historical Buddha. But the absolute Buddha means the mind of awakening. That's in us, the nature Buddha in us. But the one who created the way, who found the way, who offered us the way, is the historical Buddha. So that's why when you come into the temple, you always see there was a statue of the Buddha right in the middle of the temple. And the decoration doesn't matter. You can decoration any way you want. And remember, when you see a Buddhist bow to the statue of the Buddha, we do not bow to the material statue, but we bow to the spiritual of the teaching, and we use that as an image to help us to direct our mind in the practice. For instance, when we salute to the national flag, doesn't mean we salute to the piece of fabric, but we salute to the spiritual of the country on behalf, represented by that piece of fabric. Can you see what I mean? So when we worshiping in Buddhism doesn't mean we are asking for help or we are begging for anything. But that is the time to practice, to gratitude to the teaching. Okay? And the Buddha is just an image to help us to have a place to direct our mind. Okay? Yes. If you believe in God, you can say you bow to God. You believe in Jesus, you can bow to Jesus. You can bow to any person that you feel you respect, and that person able to help you to live in the right livelihood. Okay? Bowing not only the practice in Buddhism, but in Buddhism when we practicing bowing is the practicing of reducing or relieve the pride within you. Yes, what is you attached to the word called self. But when you drop your whole body down, that means in that moment you are practicing selfless. You are one with others. And you have to see that you survive, not because not only one of you. You survive, you're still alive. Up to this moment, you owe so many things from others. That's why bowing symbolizes for gratitude and seeing that we are part of others and others are part of us. Yes. The question is, what is the difference between the few branches in Buddhism? There is nothing different, but they do different. Okay? As I mentioned before, a good doctor cannot give you the same medicine to all kind of disease. But the good doctor will read your pulse, look at your tongue, your eyes, listening to your breath, in order to realize, to recognize what's wrong with your body, and they can give you the right medicine, the right treatments. Same thing. In Buddhism, we have different ways of practice based on how people fit with each of the way. But the main thing is to be happy, peace, and liberation. And remember, all the practicing, all the ways are only the temporary treatments. Once you achieve to your, high practice, the way is nothing. The way is only the map. But once you know how to get home, the map is no need. The river, the creek, the stream, different names, different shape. But once they come to the ocean, they only have one taste, the taste of salt. Different way of practicing, but when they come to the same, they have same taste, the taste of liberation, the taste of peace, the taste of joy, the taste of happiness. When you sit meditation, You have problem with your legs. Don't worry. Stand up, walk. You walk in such a way that you still can maintain your peace, your happiness, your mindfulness. Who able to prevent you from that kind of method? You see what? The same as the very beginning of the class. I introduce you. Cross legs. One on the one leg on the other. If not, just sit, relax your two legs. That's why we build different kind of cushions. Totally you cannot do anything, sit on the bench. As long as you are peace while you meditate. Okay? So, meditation, use breathing as the technique to help you to maintain. Okay? Tantra, reading the mantra. For instance, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum. They just keep reading that in order to use that sentence to help you to focus your mind. Okay, Prayer Land, they use the Buddha name. Different way, but the purpose of to help you to treat your disease. But remember, when you use this method, you cannot say the order is wrong. When you use Tylenol, you cannot say Advil is no good. Advil doesn't fit with your body, but it do fit with others. You understand that? So never against of any other ways. There is nothing to be proud if we all need to take medicines. Next question. Yes. If we believe we do have yesterday, that's why we have today. We have today, we have tomorrow. The past life, the present life, the future life is possible. But this is how you prepare for your next life. When you want to know who are you in the past, look at what you have now. When you want to know who are you in the next life, look what you're doing now. For instance, you ask me why I can talk Buddhism. That's simple, because in the last 10 years I study and I do practice what I learned. That's why I can talk Buddhism now. So what I am now, that means I have done this in the past 10, 20 years. I want to know, am I still a monk? If I still nourish my way, my path, my joy. So I want to know my future, look back what I do now. I still research Buddhism, I still practice Buddhism, or I am, moved another way. So to tell your future, are you studying now? Are you working with your homework now? Are you attend your school now? Or you just, skip your school, don't do your homework? You see what I mean? We do believe in the next life, but we can choose who we are in the next life based on what you do now. If you live happily now, don't worry for tomorrow. Tomorrow will also be happy. Question? Yes. Actually, even at the Buddha's time or at Jesus' time, they still have war. War never stopped in the human's life, in the human's planet. We are unable to embrace all kind of suffering in this war. But what we can do now, just do what you can within your capacity. But the first thing is, the war outside is not as dangerous as the war inside of us. Because why people create the war from outside? Because inside they have no harmony. They have no peace. For instance, we suffer for the war right now in Iraq and other countries. But when we look at our small Sangha community, do we live harmony yet or not? In our family only, do we still have war with each other or not? So that doesn't mean we ignore the war that happened now. But first, go back and build the harmony, the peace within us. And we will use this peace and joy to help to reduce the war within the people that we meet. We try to reduce the percentage of unhealthy war as much as we can within our capacity. War never ends. Let's say if right now they say stop everything, but who guarantee there's no more war? So why? Because in this relative life, a lot of things happen. Even within us, sometimes we fighting between, different thoughts within ourselves already. Sometimes we want to do this, sometimes we don't want. So we have a lot of struggling also within us. So the war inside will also bring to the war outside. So what we can do is do within our capacity. Let's say if I want to get something from that end, I cannot just sit here and do it because I have no power to do that. But what I can do is I will get something within my capacity of reaching. But don't worry, someone else will sit close to there to reach to that point. So we extend, we are the continuation. And if we say, I wish I can have power to do something for the world. Yes, we do have power now. We do have miracle now within our two hands. Within our limited lifetime of this physical body, this lifetime, do what you can for others. I don't get your question. That will be flexible. As I mentioned, compassion doesn't mean you have no wisdom, you have no insight. So let's say we are practicing no killing. But if the rats harm the human's life, and in this situation, we cannot say, because I'm practicing the first mindfulness training, I won't kill the rats. And I let the rats, become something very dangerous for the city. So the compassion need to go with understanding, the insight. So sometimes you don't fight others, but if you do something just to protect for yourself, but you don't hurt others, there's nothing wrong with that. So that's why you see the roof of the temple, the curving of the roof, stand for the flexible, the practicing of flexible. You can see that? The curving of the roof. When you see the Asian temples, the curving of the roof stand for the flexible of the practice. Yes. In Buddhism, we have few special events during the year. For example, we have New Year's Eve, We have Buddha's birthday, Parents' Day, Buddha's Enlightenment Day. Beside that, the members come to do the chanting and learning Buddhism every week, Saturday and Sunday. Like we have the meditation class for English speaking on Friday. We have meditation class and Buddhism lecture for Vietnamese on Saturday night. And we do have a public service on Sunday morning. Yeah. So, but daily, the monastics also practice, meditation, chanting for the whole day. Like they have time, the schedule for the day. Yeah. Worship, let's say worshiping. Okay? Of course, when you talk about worshiping, you are imagine there's a way, bowing and respecting and prayers. But there are other ways to worship. When you can apply the teaching of the Buddha in your daily life and make your life happy, that is the absolute way of worshiping. So the Buddha said, you sit beside me every day, but you don't understand what I said. The same as you very far away from me. But you live very far away from me, but you understand what I taught. And you do practice what you learn, the same as you sit beside me. So I used to say to the Christian practitioner or Roman Catholic, I say, you do have a Bible, but not to carry the Bible with you all the time, to show that you are a good member of Jesus. But what you do is, please be a living Bible. That is the absolute way to worshiping Jesus or God. Same in Buddhism. But of course, you have the right to do your worshiping in the form of worshiping. But more than that, you can worship Buddha in all your day long. In Buddhism, we have the word called name Phật. Name means remember. Phật means Buddha. Every single thing you do, you always put your mindfulness on you in your activity. That is worshiping. Before you talk, you stop to meditate on your words. If I say this, make people suffer or make people happy. If you're able to stop before you talk or reflect what you talk, you are worshiping. In Buddhism, we use a term, Vietnamese people used to give an example. Turn your tongue 7 times before you talk. That means you have time to stop and reflect. And another way of teaching meditation. But instead of saying meditation on your words, they say turn your tongue 7 times before you talk. Okay? Yeah.
Or being
Yes. But we believe that, who is God? God is your mind, your heart. Because your mind can create everything. You believe God is a creator. Mind is also a creator. I want to set up this temple at the way I want. My mind controls everything here. You see, our society now, the technology is very high. Come from where? Come from their mind too. Human's mind. So we do believe that. But what we do is how to get in touch with that supreme power is important. In touch doesn't mean we need to sit and to use our soul to walk in heaven and talk with someone, but live with that kind of God within you. Any other question? something related to your research? But so far, with the question the other asked and with my answer, is that help for your project? To understand a little bit more about Buddhism? Buddhism is like the ocean, very wide, very deep. You can swim all day, all your life. But with a short time, we just discuss with something that we have a question for. And when you have the key to open the door, you can see the inside, and from that you can see many other things. When you have the mindfulness, the awakening nature in you, you can open a lot of things in your daily life. Thank you for your visiting, your listening, and also your questions. I hope that with my answer, at least I can help you to understand a little bit about Buddhism. And if you think that you do need more time, you can come back as a group again. And this time we can sit together as a round table and we can discuss more. I invite you for tea if you have time to come back. Okay, I hope you all will enjoy your weekend and we'll see you next Friday. Thank you.